Who are the Choctaws? The Choctaws Indian tribe lived in the American Southwest for about 1,800 years. They migrated from modern Mexico and Western America. See, this is why I looked this up, because it was on my mind when I read before that it said, I believe it was on Wikipedia, that the Choctaws claimed that they were from the far west. But they said that they had to move from the far west because their enemies were there. And I was wondering, their enemies as in the Mongoloids who invaded the territory? What was the other thing? Oh, the Spanish, the conquistadors. It just made me, wonder what timeline are we looking at for them to make this migration. So let's see, and settled in the Mississippi Valley area. The area included parts of present-day Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama. They were a matriarch society, meaning they placed importance on the roles of women within tribe and showed gender. I'm sorry, I know I kept saying that wrong. Gender equality. Males served in leadership positions, but women were considered for input and advice. Males also joined the wife's family at marriage, and status in the tribe was generally earned by works that benefited the entire tribe. So I'll leave this in the description box if you want to read more, because the part there at the top was really what answered my question. You see, Arthur Scott Jr., I'm going to see if I can, hold on, just wait for him. Here it is. This is one of the videos Arthur did a while back, and it was ancestry DNA test results. Here, in his original results that they gave him, which after a while they change them, so you got to put this on. You got to record this so you can see where they've changed it. Up there at the top, I don't know if I can zoom in. American, 2%, and I don't remember the other place. Here's another one. Let me pause this real quick, because he shows where he's got the results for Central America.
The next section was America. Native American is just 2%, but that's one of the.
I got the volume all the way up.
In my opinion, because there is plenty of us being from America and not taken from boats in Africa stories in my family. Mostly my mother's side of the family, but my dad's side is sketchy too, or whatever, because we just appear on the slave census out of nowhere, no previous owners, no previous names, but we're lined up next to a bunch of Cherokees, Choctaw, and other Native Indian tribes. I'm gonna do a video on that, because you can see a little column in one section that says it's a black slave. You can see who's buying the slave over here, and then you can see ethnicity. They'll have like color, but then they'll also have ethnicity. So you'll see a B for black, then over here it'll be Cherokee. You'll see a B for black, but over here it'll say Choctaw. So I could be Indian on both sides, but depending on the tribe, that's a whole nother story. And I'm not talking about the red man. If I got any connection to him, yeah, it's only 2%. But if I only have 2% Native American, in my mind, this is a thought. If I only have 2% Native American, in my mind, I feel like that should have been way back in history.
Yeah, it's the older
way
results.
Long ago. Because nobody nobody close in my family looks like.
Yeah, because I've had this explained through three different people. The larger number are telling you this is who we're saying you are mixed amongst the modern people today. The smaller numbers that less than 1% Asian, that 2% Native American, and yeah, it doesn't have North Africa. Yeah, those numbers. What was the? Yeah, that's the same thing right there. Those numbers are the root. Those are where. Those are the seed. That's where it began. That's the oldest DNA left in your body. The larger numbers is what we're saying you've been mixed amongst modern in modern times. In the newer times, we're saying this is what you are. But if you're trying to find the old root to what you're, the oldest person, the oldest faction of who you are, it's the trace regions in the smaller numbers. That's what I've had. I've had three different people explain this when I was watching their videos on DNA, and you know, after a while, I started looking at it, and it's like I started understanding. You know, they've taken a certain year, which I've heard Lex even explain this. They've taken a certain year, and they're saying, all right, you know, you were all in these different locations in the world, and we're saying that's good enough. We're gonna say, you know, when this place was founded, these are the people that were here. So now you're Nigerian, because we're saying we're finding your DNA amongst the Nigerians, not realizing somebody put the Nigerians there, just like the Bantu were put there, not taking into consideration the migration routes. They don't care about that stuff. The oldest bones found in South America and throughout all the Americas is Negro. We're not looking into that. That's just too hard to sit there and figure out who's who. No, we're gonna take a certain year, I don't know, 1592, and saying, hey, we're gonna go from there. You know, and we're going to say this is where you're all from, based upon the people that are there in that year and henceforth. So, like I said, going back to the whole Choctaw thing, the Choctaw coming out of Mexico and Western United States, that article I first read in the beginning, that's what answered my question, because I was trying to figure out where from the far west. Now there's still questions remains. Who are the enemies that pushed them out of those places? Was it the conquistadors? I don't think so, because they seem to have already been set up. They seem to have already been set up in Mississippi at the time. You know, I still feel the answer to what I'm looking for is in First and Second Kings, First and Second Chronicles, because the Choctaw story about the giants and the way they described them. Oh, we were like ants in the sight of the giants. What does the Bible say? Oh, we were like grasshoppers in the sights of the giants. Oh, we called the God in heaven Abba. What is the Bible? What is the what not Bible? Sorry, what is the Hebrew way of saying God? Abba. I'm saying this is just two things that I'm like, it seems too familiar, and I'm I just think the answer to my question is going to be is when I understand those books better, First and Second Kings, First and Second Chronicles, better, and what went on. And last thing, I forgot to put this in the video when I was doing the update on our bloodline, my sister and my bloodline, because I don't take notes, so I didn't have it written down to remind me to bring this up. All right, but so forgive me about that. So here, this is where they're saying, you know, right? I'm from, you know, the DNA shows up, right? Cameroon, Nigeria, Mali. You know the whole schmeal. Slide down here, and they give you this early Virginia African American migration, right? Now, this is one of the features that they've added over the last 5 years, are your matches, right? To show you where they found your cousins, your first cousins, first and second cousin, all, you know, what, so on and so forth. Is when you're looking at this, something is missing. Okay? Something is missing. If they're trying to feed you this narrative that this is correct, something is missing. See all these African nations? Where are all the related relatives, cousins from Africa? Two relatives in Europe, in England and Ireland, England and Germany, and both melanated, you know, so it's not yeah. Relatives in North America, even in Costa Rica. If I'm African, where are all the relatives that are supposed to be sitting in Nigeria that I'm related to? And in Cameroon? And in Benin and all those places? And just think about that. You can connect me and connect me to 152 people in North America, one in Costa Rica, two in Europe, but you cannot connect me to the people you're claiming that I'm supposed to be from. That you're claiming. I don't claim that. So far, I've got the genealogy that takes me back to, what's it? It's going to be on our father's side. I just can't think of his, Israel Cooper. Yeah, John Cooper. Israel Cooper. And he's still recorded on the Choctaw website. So I'm just saying, it was something that stuck out to me, and I forgot about it because I was going over so many other things I was trying to remember.